Hey guys, welcome to the Prince Eats. Check out this quick video with tips and tricks on how to perform that perfect flip for crispy skinned fish every time. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let's jump right into it. This process is really easy, and the first step to success is making sure that your fish is patted dry. When you're using skin-on fish and you want to get that crispy skin, water is going to be the enemy of that. So you really want to make sure it's patted dry. Just grab some napkins, paper towels, and just dab over it as much as you can. As you can see here, I'm scoring the fish. It's not absolutely necessary. However, I like it for presentation purposes. Also, at the same time, when you're cutting into your fish when it's on the plate, I find that when it's scored, it's a much easier task of getting your fork through that fish as opposed to having to use a knife. So it's not necessary, but it cuts out having to use extra utensils at the table. Salmon skin is very tough, it's very durable, and sometimes it's not the easiest to cut through if you have a dull knife. So make sure that your knife is very sharp and be careful. The next important step is to season your fish. Generally, I just like to use salt and pepper on the skin of the fish. Again, that's going to be the crispiest side, and I find that the skin tastes really good when you use a moderate amount of salt and pepper. Certainly, you can use other seasonings like lemon pepper or any other seafood seasoning that you desire. But during this step, you just want to make sure that some of that salt and pepper gets inside of those areas where you score the fish. After you season your fish, the next thing you want to do is bring your pan to medium heat. If you're using a non-stick skillet, you're fine. But if you're using a stainless steel skillet, you want to perform the water test. Believe it or not, the hard part is behind us. Some ingredients you'll need for the cooking process is your butter. You'll need a neutral oil with a high smoke point. Here I have avocado oil. Once your pan is hot, you want to add just enough oil to cover the bottom of the pan. You don't want to use too much oil because we're not trying to fry the fish. We just want enough oil to sear the fish and get that crispy skin. Once that oil is in there, go ahead and add your butter, and likewise ensure that butter gets around the entire bottom of the pan because we want that butter to make contact with the fish as well. At this point, the pan should be on medium-high heat, and right before you place your fish into the pan, you want to reduce the heat to medium. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and carefully place your fish in the pan. You'll know the pan is just hot enough when you place your fish in the pan and you immediately hear that sizzle. Press down on the fish with a spatula or if you're comfortable with your hand to ensure the skin makes even contact with the pan. You want to let that fish cook skin side down for approximately 5 to 7 minutes. You really want to trust the process and resist the urge to flip that fish too soon. I want to show you what happens when you flip the fish too soon and exercise impatience. If you're using a stainless steel skillet, the skin side of that fish won't lift off the pan until it's ready. And as you can see here, when I flip this fish over, there's a corner of it that peeled away from the fish. And this is after the fact, but it peeled away from the fish because it hadn't yet crisped. And I ended up pulling at the skin as opposed to lifting it off the pan. I recommend using a spatula, preferably a fish spatula if you have one, or here I'm using tongs just because I've been doing it for a while. I know the technique and it's easy for me to use tongs. Once your fish is cooked to your preference, you can go ahead and add your aromatics. I'm just going to add a little bit more butter because what I want to do is baste it. At this point, you're done. As you can see, the perfect flip is all about patience, trusting the process, and just letting the pan do its thing. You'll notice the fish will be done once you start to see it getting a little bit white around the edges. You can always peek up at a little bit of the corner of the fish, but resist the urge to flip the fish entirely. If you trust the process, it will honor you. Visit theprinceeats.com for more simple and easy meal ideas just like this one.